Welcome to the Young Stoics. We're your hosts, Dilan
and Luke.
This podcast is all about taking ancient Stoic philosophy and wisdom and using it to better handle modern teenage life.
Before we get started with our first episode, we want to introduce ourselves and also the concept of Stoicism for anyone who doesn't know about it already.
I'm Dilan. I'm a junior at high school. I've been friends with Luke since we were in kindergarten, so I know him pretty well. I like to go to the gym. I sometimes go with Luke. I really like food. I like to go to a lot of restaurants. But that's enough about me. What about you, Luke? What's going on with you?
All right, I'll tell you what's going on with me. My name is Luke, as you already know. I am also a junior at Trinity with Dylan. We've been besties since kindergarten, something like that. I love Stoicism. I read all of Meditations about 2 summers ago, maybe 3. Gosh, I'm getting old.
Yeah, he told me all about it after he read it. That's what got me into it.
I like reading philosophy. I took a philosophy course over the summer. One of my big passions. Yeah,
I think I might want to do philosophy in college. Some sort of thing with that. It's pretty cool. But anyways, that's enough about us. We got to talk about what Stoicism really is. So, what would you say, Luke? What would you say Stoicism is?
Stoicism. Wow. It's hard to define it in one sentence, but I would say it is control over yourself, and also control over control. It's sort of paradoxical, yet it works.
Yeah, the Greek and Romans really loved it, and I think what they were trying to get at is that in life there's going to be a lot of things that we can't control, but then there's going to be even more that we can't, and we can't do anything about it. But we just have to sit with that. We got to find peace with that, right?
Exactly. And control yourself. That, I think, is very important.
That's the biggest thing. Self-discipline.
Yeah, and know that you can't control others, so sort of adjust, right? You can never control what happens to you, but you can control your reaction.
If we live with wisdom, courage, and self-discipline, we can become resilient and stay calm regardless of all the stuff that's going on around us.
Also, about some of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus. Right here I have my Meditations book. This is an old one from 1957. It's my grandfather's, actually. What do you know? Very
cool. My favorite, I'd probably have to go with Marcus Aurelius. I think he's just overall a great guy. I would have loved to meet him. That would have been nice. What we're going to be getting into today is our main theme, which is to control what you can and let the rest go. Seneca said that man conquers the world by conquering himself. And I think that just really sums it up great.
It's important to emphasize that we're talking about self-control. So, for example, last week specifically, I didn't do so good on a Spanish quiz. And I told Dylan about this.
Yeah.
Dr. Matuzzi, Dylan's English teacher, gave a little speech about Stoicism and how she practices Stoicism. And that inspired me. I really thought that was exactly what I needed after that Spanish quiz, because I decided, you know what? I can't go back in time and retake this quiz, but I can definitely control how hard I study for the next one.
I guess if I were to think of an example where I failed at Stoicism, we're going to look at more fails right in a second, but I think an example for me is a lot of the time I'm running late to school. I wake up early. I live pretty far. And I'm on the subway, and my school starts our school, Luke goes to school with me, starts at 8:15, and it'll be like 7:55 or 8, and I'll know I'm going to be late, 5 minutes late, maybe 10 minutes late. And they really get on you if you're late, especially my mom. She loves getting on me about being late. But I keep checking my phone, and just over and over again, oh man, it's 8:01, it's getting closer, and I just get really stressed out about it. But I was thinking, and after that speech I had from my English teacher, I was thinking, and I realized me checking my phone, it's not going to do anything. I could stress about it all I want, but it's not going to change when I get to school. All that's going to change is I'm more stressed out about it. I'm going to be just as late. It's not going to make me come there any earlier. Anyways, now we're going to look at our clips. Alright, we got some Fortnite.
Cry me a river, get banned permanently, you piece of you. Mods, ban everyone! Ban everyone now!
Oh no.
I want all my viewers permad! Go! Go!
Okay. Wow.
What a guy. Jeez Louise, this guy Deller.
Yeah. He's not happy at all. As you can see. Yeah, I love Fortnite, but I don't think I would ever get that mad about it. Maybe I would. But
Yeah, no, I think I've gotten
Yeah.
just about to my limit playing Fortnite.
Yeah, for context, you guys, me and Luke have been playing Fortnite since the OG days, like Season 4, Tilted Towers. I remember one time we were at his house
Chapter
on our
1.
iPads. Chapter 1 for all the new gens. Hiding in a little bunker in Tilted Towers from people with grenades. And it was really fun. We used to wake up early and play. I remember that.
Those were the
good old
days.
But I mean, you just can't get. I guess maybe he's doing it a little bit for his chat, but like you just cannot be getting that mad.
He's a quitter. He gave up. What can be more unstoic than giving up?
Yeah, he can't do anything. He can't control that guy telling him to cry him a river. He can't control it. People are gonna tell him stuff like that every day. So instead of making a scene, making a fool of yourself, you just have to calm down. We'll talk about more solutions later, but maybe we should get into another clip.
Wait, jump.
This is Jinxie, by the way, if anyone doesn't know.
Now.
And yet you keep on trying.
Sweet mother of Jesus, where am I supposed to go? It was the other red one. I was right. But where am I supposed to go, man?
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, that one was different. I love Jinxie. I love Geometry Dash too, and I have definitely gotten that mad. But you see, he actually got a lot closer than our friend Deller over there. You know, he was smiling, right? Until I thought he was doing well, but then you saw he started slamming his head off. But I thought it was a better effort. I thought it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Let me go on my rant about this now. He can't control that quadruple spike. For context, I don't really play Geometry Dash. I've gotten past Stereo Madness level 1.
He plays a little. He's on the first level.
I'm past the first level. But Jinxie, I don't think that was an actual rage, if I'm going to be honest. I think he was doing that for the clickbait. Funny guy. I think, honestly, with how successful he's gotten, being unstoic or non-stoic is sort of part of his character in a way. A lot of these YouTubers use sort of the opposite of stoicism as a part of their character, right? They get angry so easily, they react. That's how they get views.
They want clicks, they want people to...
Exactly.
So then, like, think about that in your life, right? Like, do you want to be treated in your life like how some of these streamers are? Like, if you act like that when something bad happens to you, you're just going to have a bunch of, like, chatters, like, just chirping you. And it's not what you want, right? You have to just control yourself. How do we combat this? We all have this problem. We all have our own ways where test, whatever, being late, there's things you can't control. But what do we do with that?
Going back to Marcus Aurelius, I think I said this, like, last week, but I quoted, life is like a river. This is probably not one-to-one quote, but life is like a river and philosophy is your boat. So you have to use philosophy, stoicism, something that you place above what happens to you. That has to be sacred. That has to be protected at all costs. You always have to keep in mind that you have the power in any situation. You can react how you choose. You can really do anything how you choose. It's called free will.
Yeah.
And I think stoicism is about acknowledging that free will and using it to its best advantage.
Yeah. What I would say is what the Stoics say, actually, not just what I would say. I have some backup. You have to divide the world into what you can control and what you can't. And then once you figure out, like, take all the things in your life that upset you and say, which are the ones that I can actually do something about and which are the ones that I can't. But then after you do that, it's really easy for me to just sit here and tell you, okay, then don't get mad about the ones you can't control. But I guess I can try to give you something a little more concrete that me and Luke practice. It's called the 3-second rule. So when something triggers you, a rude message, a bad grade, someone being an idiot, don't react instantly. Don't get mad instantly like Dello or like Jinxie. Give yourself 3 seconds, take a breath, just relax for a second and realize that that emotion that you're feeling is going to pass and then choose what you actively want to do. You're taking back your agency.
I love that, Dylan. And honestly, I think I can say personally, after reading Meditations, I don't think I've really let my emotions get the best of me when someone is being an idiot. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty...
There are a lot of stupid idiots in our grade.
I think I can think of only really one time when I've gotten genuinely upset.
What time?
I think all the other, a couple of weeks ago when didn't go to community service with me.
Yeah. He was upset. He stormed out, And
Yeah.
honestly, I laughed a little. It was funny. It was like one
I
of those
think that
streaming
shows something
moments.
about my character. When you
Yeah.
don't want to do community service, I get upset. I
Yeah,
care
I
about
guess.
the
I
community.
guess. Yeah, that's why. That was funny. But
It was more of a betrayal for me.
yeah.
But going back, I would say people being fake, people being idiots, at least for me personally, that's less of a problem than bad grades. I think as students, getting a bad grade can be detrimental. It can ruin your day from the second you wake up, the second you go to bed. Yesterday, my day was ruined after a bad grade.
Oh, no.
Every day my day is ruined after a bad grade.
Yeah. And it's not just like a hard school, it's like the people there, everyone is so like competitive and kind of crazy, honestly, about grades. So you're always comparing yourself. But you just got to remember, like, it's just me versus me. Remember what Seneca said? What'd he say? Man conquers the world by conquering himself. That's what he said, yeah. So.
Something I want to highlight as well is that in a competitive environment, whether it's school, work, anything really, you can't really control how much work other people put in. You can't control the decisions that other people make. You can't control how good someone else does on an exam. What you can control is how good you do. And I honestly think that being motivated by competitiveness is not a bad thing at all, as long as you acknowledge that you are the ruler of your own destiny.
Yeah.
It's only you that can control how good you do, right? Ooh, is that deep?
It's pretty deep. But it's really funny because a lot of our friends sometimes they'll clown on you for studying. They'll be like, oh man, like you're probably just gonna go study for that test. It's just like the funniest thing because people used to bully people for so many more things than studying for a test. But everyone tries hard in their own way, so you just gotta realize that. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is the show Vinland Saga, which me and Luke both love, and we just wanted to recommend. We love anime. Vinland Saga is a great show. It's about a guy. I'm not gonna have any spoilers, but let's just say something bad happens to him that he can't control. He lashes out, but then in the end, he can find himself, and he does not have any enemies no more. You've probably heard, I have no enemies. That is what I really like to think of Stoicism as, that one phrase, I have no enemies.
Right. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that we should be lenient with others, be tolerant with others, but be strict with yourself. I think that's an exact one-to-one rule.
If you hold others to the same standards you're holding yourself, you're just going to be unhappy because you can't control what they do. It's just you. Luke, I know you journal a lot more than me. I don't do it too much, but can you tell us about your journaling journey and how that's helped you? Because Marcus Aurelius, he basically invented journaling. He used it as therapy. I don't think there were therapists back then. And that's where we get Meditations, which is the book we both like. It's just his private thoughts.
Yeah, I find that really interesting, actually, how he wrote for himself. This was never something that he intended to be published for the general public, but it turned out to be one of the greatest sources of wisdom for people ever. In terms of my journaling experience, I've been busy recently, but in the beginning of the year, all right, don't be too judgmental.
Yeah, be tolerant with yourself, not others.
No.
Oh, I messed it up. Be tolerant with others, not yourself, is what I actually meant, my friend.
Well, be tolerant with yourself, but just be strict.
Yeah. That's true. Moderation.
But journaling has helped me in the past. Just getting down your thoughts. I mean, honestly, if there's anything on your mind at all, journaling is the number one fix. If you can identify the problem, you've already solved 50% of it. Journaling is identifying the problem. It is half of the problem is journaling.
Yeah. You can say things like, what'd you do well? What'd you mess up? And what can you do better? Because, Luke's right. I mean, Marcus, I guess he was able to figure out that there's something calming about just, getting your thoughts out. He probably couldn't just, talk to one of his boys. Because, he was the emperor, right? So, he was the emperor, right, Luke?
He was. You don't get to call him Marcus. You don't know him on a first name basis.
Yeah, I know him like that.
You can call him Emperor Aurelius. How about that?
Yeah. It's Emperor Aurelius to you. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is 2 nights ago we had our first college night and they put a slideshow about college. It definitely got me thinking maybe about the future a little bit. I didn't know it was that close. I think you too, right, Luke? Maybe?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you.
And that's, I think, one of the things where obviously you got to put work in for your grades, your extracurriculars, SATs, all that. But then I think at the end of the day, that's one of the things that you cannot control after a certain point. You know what I mean? I think that's a big one that
Absolutely.
kids our age are always stressing about. Oh, after you apply, like even in the process, you got to realize that there's stuff you can't control. But like after you apply, then you really got to be like, all right, I've applied, it's done. Now I just need to wait and see what happens. And obviously that's hard. And I'm probably going to be freaking out next year. But
I think you got it bullseye because,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not there yet, thankfully, but I just can't imagine the stress that people who are applying to college, especially like a dream college, I can't imagine
yeah,
the stress that
yeah,
they go
yeah,
through.
yeah. Oh
Just
my
waiting
gosh.
for a decision that someone else makes.
But like that's it. Someone else is making it. Yeah.
That's at the heart of it. I think it's especially important to realize you can control your grades, you can control what you do outside of school. You can
Mm-hmm.
control some aspect in your odds of getting into X college, but at the end of the day, whether you get in or not,
It's someone else. Yeah.
yeah, it's important to know that that's not a reflection on your character. That's just a random admissions officer's, decision on whether you'll be a good fit for that college or not. It's not a reflection on your character. So
The other thing I see in my little notes that I got is asking a girl out, talking about that. Luke, do you want to talk about that a little bit? But what have you learned from girls in Stoicism?
well, I learned a very important lesson. I'll give the listeners a quick
Yeah.
background story.
This is a good one.
Yeah, I was talking to this girl. She'll remain unnamed. And basically it was going great until she was doing a semester abroad.
Oh no, we know where
Oh,
this
no.
goes. Ah!
And we decided to sort of remain together. And on this semester abroad, she found another guy. Ah!
Oh,
A wrench in the heart. I remember I was very upset, extremely upset. I remember just being in the library of my school, fuming, looking out the window, listening to Brazilian funk, planning my revenge.
Yeah. Oh, we still listen to Brazilian funk. We haven't moved
Yeah,
on
that-
from that at all.
That never died.
Yeah.
Um,
But that day after, me and Luke, we went to the gym at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
And we decided to go on our winter arc. Yep.
So we hit the gym at 5 a.m. That's something we can control. That's
Yeah.
a perfect example. You cannot control the decisions other people make. In this case, it was a decision that tore me apart. But I could control how I reacted to it. I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, I would say I'm healed. I'm ready to move on.
Ladies in the audience. Anyways, I actually can attest to what Luke's saying. I'm pretty proud of him. We saw her recently and he was able to just say hello and just be a nice little gentleman.
And honestly, I forgave her.
I don't forgive her, but all right. Here's one thing I do sometimes. You hear a lot about this with kind of college talk. It's actually negative visualization. So you hear about like positive, but no, there's negative. So actually just imagine the worst case scenario. So okay, I'm gonna fail this test. Okay, now what? And then you think, all right, well, if you prepare for it like that, then no matter what happens, you're not going to get stressed. You're not going to get anxious about it anymore. And I'm not saying look at everything like, oh my God, this is going to go terrible. But just, if it's something you can't control, just be like mentally prepared if you get that outcome that you don't want. Because one time you are going to get that outcome. Not just one time, a billion times. And you got to know what you're going to have to do. How are you going to stay calm?
That's exactly right. And I can say honestly, this is something I've never practiced, or maybe I've practiced it a little bit, but I would say I mostly practice it when I know a test went wrong or I know I messed something up. I would say it helps a little bit. For me, it's probably not the most important thing, but
What would you say is the most important thing?
most important thing I would say is controlling your reaction. This
Yeah,
happened
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
I mean, I got a bad grade and I was really pissed off, and I started to take that anger out on the people around me, my family, and I realized I can't do this. It's not their fault, it's my fault. So I emailed my teacher. I'm going to set up a quick meeting, see how I can improve, study harder, do my homework really well. And yeah, that's really the main thing for me, is controlling the reaction.
I guess to like show the viewers like kind of what we've learned, takeaways. What do you guys need to know? Take it away, Luke.
The next time you hit an obstacle, and listen very carefully, whether it's in a video game like Fortnite, shout out Joey, or something at school, or a disagreement with a parent, try the Stoic solution. Remember that you can only control yourself, your thoughts, your actions, and your choices. Try this 3-second rule. Try journaling. Maybe try negative visualization. And also, one added piece of advice, I would say go to the bookstore and get meditations or get a work of Seneca.
Or listen to it, the audiobook. That is
Yeah,
another really
exactly.
good book.
Check out The Daily Stoic. Great YouTube channel, great guy, Ryan Holiday. He teaches a lot about Stoicism and philosophy. I would say invest in yourself.
Yeah,
Invest
self-improvement.
in self-improvement. It's also important to distinguish the difference between self-improvement and self-improvement to a point where it's actually bad. That can happen. I remember Dr. Matuzzi saying, you have to have discipline about discipline. Again, this is another thing that's paradoxical, yet it works. You have to know when to not be disciplined. You have to know when to have a healthy balance, right? If you're too disciplined, you could end up hurting yourself in the gym or hurting yourself in any other way. You have to know when to sort of let go and just let life take you on its journey.
Yeah, and I think that same teacher, Dr. Matuzzi, she brought up I think it's called the Serenity Prayer. I think it's, God grant me the ability to change the things I can, accept the things I cannot change, and like the wisdom to tell the difference, something like that. And I think that's a great quote to sum up what we've talked about today. Just if you can't change it, then stop and think, and then see if there's something you can do, and if there's something you can't, just relax and then think about what you should do next.
Love that.
And yeah, that about wraps things up for today. Thank you for hanging out with us on the Young Stoics. Hit follow, share the episode, and send it to someone who needs to just relax. And we're going to put a little more info in the description for the episode. And thank you so much, everyone.
All right, adios. Until next time.